Oh, snap. What is going on, everybody? We are live with the Just Joe King podcast. I am one half of the podcast king,
And I'm Joe.
and we are with you guys today on a different day. We normally do this on
Yeah.
a Wednesday, but you know what? Life happens, things come up, but we are still going to provide the content that we like to do bi-weekly. Let's get the marketing stuff out of the way. We are streaming on Facebook and YouTube. Just search us up. Just Joe slash King podcast. We also put these podcasts out on audio form only on Spotify, Google, Apple, pretty much all major podcast platforms. All right. And then if you ever want to hit us up, you can send us an email at just.joe.king podcast at gmail.com. All right. So we are here today coming to the people. It's starting to get hot, Joe. Let's start there. Holy crap,
Okay.
brother. What do you think about this heat, man?
Well, it's funny because the heat, for me, it's been weird because like the last few days have been rainy and nasty. And so like the heat and humidity has just kind of made it kind of cruddy. And for me, I'm just like, we're supposed to be in summer now. And I keep getting allergies like we're in spring. And it's annoying the hell out of me. Like if you're going to be hot, don't be annoying too. you know? So, but it's hot. It is certainly
Dude,
hot.
I am with you on there. And for it to be, I mean, it's June. We're in
Yeah.
Maryland. It's not like I expect it to be just the absolute best weather, but maybe it's me and the fact that I'm getting old and I just like comfort really more than anything. So give me a nice 72-degree inside the house or below, and I'm good. I'm happy. Like if I'm gonna go
Yeah.
outside in this weather, I'm gonna be outside for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't going outside unless I absolutely have to. And the house is like a good solid 65. So I'm like wearing a sweater in the house. Everybody outside's sweating. I'm wearing a sweater and I'm cool.
Dude, I like it. So where I'm renting from, I don't really have full control over the temperature per se, but if it's my choice, yeah, like I said 72, but give me like 68, 65, somewhere around there.
hmm
I don't care what that electric bill is. I'd rather, have the comfort in a place that I'm residing at most of the time. Joe, let's start off with how we normally start off, brother. It's been a while since we've had our podcast, but we've chatted in between then. How's everything going, brother?
Things have been okay. I had this like weird bout with depression this weekend though, where
Hmm.
like it just hit me like a bag of bricks. Like I was doing okay, not like stellar, not fantastic. I wasn't like walking on sunshine, but I was doing okay. And then out of nowhere, like you ever get that feeling where like just suddenly you're just you got tears coming out, and you don't have a reason. Like it's just you got tears coming out, like your emotions hit you, and you just don't know why. And unfortunately that's my reality on a lot of days, because of my condition. But just this weekend, just randomly out of the blue, just bag of bricks, and I'm just struggling.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to go out and do stuff. It's the weekend. The wife's got her things, kids want to do stuff too, and I'm like, I want to be there, I want to be dad, I want to help you, have fun and do good things, and enjoy yourself. But sometimes you just need that moment to just express that, get that shit out of your system, like out of your glands or something. I don't know how to explain it.
All
And
right.
thankfully the wife was very understanding. I mean, it's not often you see anybody cry for no reason. So she was very understanding, and I felt better afterwards. Obviously I'm doing better now, but yeah, shit happens. How about you, man?
Uh, Before I get into me, how about Jim?
Jem's good. Jem is the hardest working dog That's the most laziest dog I've ever seen in my life. She works really hard when it's work time, but when it's chill time, it is chill time.
That's what's up.
It's so funny. She rocks out hard when she sleeps.
All right. So me, everything's same old over here, man. I say that a lot, but that's kind of been my status quo. Since I finished school a little bit over a month ago, I've just been doing my live streams. I've had the opportunity to visit and see family. I've got my daughter for the summer. I just put braces, well, half of her braces. She got just the top
Nice.
braces on yesterday,
Nice.
and she's having a little bit of an adjustment with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But outside of that, man, it's status quo. I got a photo shoot tomorrow. I'm going to be doing
Nice.
some stuff for social media to kind of step my social media game up, if you will. And I'm
Excellent.
looking forward to a lot of the stuff, talking with CQ of Pop Culture Warrior about one of the things and projects that we're all looking to get a part of. And that's what I'm kind of doing, man. I'm looking at building myself up and really leaning into that type of stuff. We got
Yeah.
John Thompson in the building. He said, "What up, boys? Hey, man, I appreciate you
What
joining.
up?
It's been a minute. It
Yeah.
has been a minute. Are you going to come to that event that's going to be up in Jersey? I doubt it, but I figured I'd ask."
I don't know. I don't know what event you're talking about.
Whoa, I've been vocal about bringing that event up. It's the yacht event, the one that CQ posted
Oh,
up.
yeah, 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 yeah. Vets on the yacht and everything.
Yes, yes. I'm going.
Um, because of Gem, I don't think I'm going.
No.
I know that's probably a weak excuse. Like I could go and leave Gem at home with the family. I could totally do that. I'm not a big on the water person anymore. I
Okay.
used to be. I used to be. Like I used to go deep sea fishing with my family and I used to love it. But it's it's the fucking Catalina wine mixer, John. I let me get back to you on that because my anxiety keeps telling me no, and that's probably the wrong answer. Like I probably should go and get out and do that, but
I mean, here's how I look at it. It is indeed a haul. It's about a 3 to 3.5 hour drive. Okay. I'm looking at making it a day trip and staying the night there. So I'm not going down
mm,
there doing that and then coming back because I
mm,
figured being out on the water, being out in the sun is going to be a
yeah,
little bit hot. I'm going to be too tired to do that. I'm bringing my daughter with me. All right.
mm,
But it's an event that I'm definitely looking forward to. I am 37 years old, about to be 38, and I've never been on a yacht. I want to experience that.
fair, fair. That's a good reason.
And to have somebody like this person and the people who he's involved with. Shout out to Stu. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna send this clip to him and let him know that, you know, for him supporting veterans, he has our support. This guy, by the way, I'm just gonna talk about him real quick.
Sure, sure.
He's done a lot for veterans. He's done a lot for veterans. His father was a veteran. He's not a veteran himself, but if I understand right, he's done like a lot of public service. I want to say he was a firefighter or something like that.
First
So for
responder. Okay.
yep, so for somebody to offer up and create an event for vets, apparently this isn't the first time that he's done something like this, but have other people come on and want to give back and just
Yeah.
basically throw a party and say show up, have a good time. I'm all for that. And I think that it's a great way to network as well as do something that's going to be a little bit different for people. And having somebody host something like that, I think, is fantastic for people that just are looking for things to
Yeah.
do. And I'm somebody that's always looking for something to do to just, keep my mind off of everything else, man. Life hits us
Yeah.
hard sometimes. I stay busy so that I don't have to worry about how crazy other things can be, and I've
Yeah.
talked about this. I've shared a lot of things that are anchors, okay? And by doing that, it allows me to focus on other things so that my mind doesn't wander because I'm always thinking about something. That's a it's a really bad thing that I have. I've been that way for a while. It's hard for me to turn my brain off,
Yeah.
but
I know exactly what that's like, man.
yep, but being able to have something to look forward to or have something to talk about in a positive way is kind of what helps me when things could look or turn in a very negative way. So I'm looking forward to that, man. I don't know
Yeah.
who else from the local area is going to be coming out, but if you're part of the Frederick Peer Support Group, we've talked about it in the peer support group. The contact person and name that you need to talk to is in the Frederick WWP Peer Support Group, and I've reached out to the guy. He's a hoot. So yeah, I'm trying to convince people besides me to show up, and I think it's going to be a pretty decent turnout just
Yeah.
from talking to the guy. It'd be cool to have the boys up there as well.
Yeah. I'll relook at everything. I made a snap judgment when I saw it the first time, and I just looked at it. I was like, nope, and just moved on.
Hey man, hey, that snap judgment though, I don't blame you. It's like I said, it's Jersey. It's not like it's Baltimore and the
Right.
peer out that way, so I get it. All right, man. We got stuff to do tonight. So let's jump right into it. We got a couple of different articles
All right.
that I'm gonna bring up, man. And the first one is it came to light like last night or this morning. So it wasn't on the original docket, but I wanted to
Okay.
share it because I thought it was a fantastic story. Okay. So employees at the chipper truck in the Bronx, kind of up
Mm,
near your old stomping grounds,
mm,
reacted when they got a note saying call the police with a food order. So I've delivered food before for Uber, Grubhub, and things like that. On the business side of it, all right, the businesses, depending on what version of the hardware that they order and use, they
mm-hmm,
get a printout. Like some get a printout of like what the order is. And for the people that's placing the order, you can have special instructions. Well, for
mm-hmm,
people that are actually paying attention, because I put stuff in the special instructions often, but if you're used to making the same burger like 100 times, sometimes you might miss that special instructions because things are automatic. But luckily, somebody paying attention help save a person's life. And let's play this video courtesy of NBC News.
mm.
Employees get a food order via Grubhub for an Irish breakfast sandwich, a hamburger, and something else. A plea for help.
When I see the message on the paper, I say, just call the police and don't send the food.
The message from a woman being held against her will by a man she met online, identified by police as Kamoy Royal. She placed the food order via Grubhub, and under special instructions, the message read in part, please call the police. Please don't make it obvious. Owner Alice
Mm.
Bernejo says she always reminds her employees to read the entire order.
They know, check it, make sure and check it before all goes into the bag. And thankfully, that's what saved the girl.
Employees called
Mm.
NYPD. Police responded to this home on Pratt Avenue in the Bronx. Royal answered the door thinking the food was arriving, but instead it was police who arrested him.
You never think that these things happens, but obviously, happens. And we're just glad that we can help.
The 24-year-old victim is safe. Royal is facing a laundry list of charges. The
That's a
owners of the
long
Chicken
ass
Truck
dress.
Cafe posted the harrowing saga online as a warning.
I wanted people to know if it ever happened to them or if they were in that situation, this is something that they can do and this can help them.
And today, they received an unexpected call from Grubhub.
And he was so happy about what we did, and he offered us $5,000 for just doing what we did and paying attention to the notes.
So
That's
that's
legit.
legit, man. And it's
Yeah.
one of those things that it's good that this person was able to uh use a little bit of ingenuity to save their life or save whatever additional trauma might have occurred
Holy
had the police
shit.
not showed up, man. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that's
reading that article too, dude. Holy shit.
yep. The thing that I was trying to understand was this too. So this person, which I don't think that the article had their age, all right, or had the person age, but
The
there were
victim's age was like 24,
yep, there
26.
was hers was 24. There was another person literally just a week prior, 26 years old, that he was accused of attempting to, I think I'll say the word grape because sometimes the
Yeah,
algorithm.
the algorithm doesn't like it.
Yep. Um, and then to kidnap somebody and do some things a week later. I hope this
Mm,
person gets tried, convicted appropriately by a jury of his peers, and off the streets for the things that he is accused of, and because I have to say this legally,
yeah,
accused of and proven to be guilty of.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I make sure to say accused and proven because you can't just go around locking up people, accusing them of doing things.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That was a
man.
long ass truck. Did you see how long that truck was?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. It's the length of the entire driveway.
it was. So, yeah, brother,
Yeah, but
that.
that's good on Grubhub too for that gesture because they
Mhm.
didn't have to do anything. They could have sent an email and said thank you, you did a great job, we appreciate you for what you do. But they showed their thanks. They actually gave them some money, which can only help them. You know what I mean? I just hope that people don't think that doing the right thing means you're going to get money. You know, because
Exactly.
doing the right thing is just doing the right thing, and that's all it needs to ever be.
Yep. And I did find an article, and I'm going to bring this up on the screen here, that shows a guy. They charged him with 27 different counts of kidnapping and as well.
Jesus.
But this 2 years old.
Mm,
Man, it's just one of those that, oh,
yeah.
look at this. So this person, I wonder if they pulled this from like, oh, apparently, so this is sourced from Facebook. If you take a look at this guy, and looks can be deceiving, he looks like a respectable dude, really, just based off of that photo. I'm
Well, I mean,
curious.
nobody posts photos that make them look like what they really are, you know? You know,
Hey, I don't know.
everybody
That could
wants
have been to be desired. Like
everybody wants
you
to
see
look like
some of these.
cool in their photos. I mean, but
That's
who
true.
reads
That's
Sun
true.
Tzu in 2022? I mean,
I do.
yeah, and I think about it, I'm like, but I'm not gonna take a picture of myself reading Sun Tzu. Like I know I read it.
Maybe
I
I.
don't need everybody else to know I read it.
Hey, you know what, man? Maybe I do that for one of
I
my
think
social media pics is going to be going up on my Instagram.
I think that defeats the whole purpose of reading Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu's strategies would be for your enemy to not know that you have read Sun Tzu and therefore no strategy to defeat your enemy. So you already shot yourself in the foot, bro. You can't let people know you read it.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah,
Next
his
article.
photos are misleading.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I mean, but that's
Yep.
that's fine. That's normal. You know, you should find hopefully
Got it.
normal photos on this stuff.
How would you feel if you went into a coma, and let's say
Mm,
that you weren't married? Let's say that you just had a girlfriend. How'd you feel if
mhm.
you went into a coma to wake up after being in a coma for months to know that your significant other who said that they loved you left you and moved in with another significant other? How would that make you feel?
I mean, if we were just dating, I mean, it would depend on how far into the relationship you are. There's a lot of factors.
There it is.
um, but I mean, like if I was, yeah, like John said, I wouldn't give a shit. I honestly, like I said, it would really depend on how far into the relationship. If we were together like 6 weeks or something like that, I might not care. That yeah, and obviously you probably dodged a bullet. Um, like John said. But I mean, it really would depend. It really would depend on the length of time we were together.
All right, so let's take a look at this article. Let me zoom it in here a little bit. An Australian woman named Bree Duval, my bad, woke up from a month-long coma to learn that her life had been entirely flipped upside down, but not because of the brain injury. She shared her story on TikTok, mentioning that she fell off of a retaining wall across a bar and suffered numerous injuries to her ribs, spine, and bones. And when she woke up after 3 weeks, she suffered temporary amnesia. She didn't
Mm.
remember much of her life, but she started remembering bit by bit as she recovered. One of the major details about her life was having a fiance for the past 4 years. However, after 3 weeks, when she woke up, old buddy was not there. And when she got her number, her first thought was to call him just to see if she knew that she had been awake. Except that he had been to see her. She tried to get a hold of him, calling him a few times, but he didn't respond to her calls. Instead, blocked her on every platform. So I opened up my phone, going to message him, when a message pops up from this woman that says, I am now with her ex fiance, and I have moved him out. He's now living with me and my son. Please do not contact him. Before I even read further, I haven't fully read this article, so all of this is new, like news to me. I wonder if she fell off of a retaining wall.
Dude
Right?
threw her up a retaining wall, or maybe
Right?
this other lady pushed her off the retaining wall to get a hold of her fiance.
It's
Good
been, I
lord,
mean, 3 weeks.
that
That's
would be some
quick.
that would be some after school special kind of material right there. You know?
Yep. That is insane. So she goes on to say, I've not heard from him since I've been in the hospital. He's completely and utterly left me in the dust. So I don't even have closure as to why this happened.
Mm.
That would be what messed me up. All right. Would be like just that, like not having that closure. I think that would be what would mess me up, man. John said that he wouldn't care, but I don't know, JT. For
I mean, that's
me,
a 4-year relationship. It's not
exactly.
it's not like you've been waking up to each other for 4 years, and to just one day to the next just not give a reason, like
Yep.
that's a lot. Yeah.
Now she goes on to say, after 4 years, I was incredibly surprised. We were best friends for years. I never thought in a million years this would happen, especially at such an awful time in my life. I thought he was my soulmate, but I was wrong. Hey, look, people, stop using the word soulmate. JT said he's an asshole and he knows it. Hey, as long as you know it, and
Yeah,
and anybody else that chooses to be around you knows it too.
exactly.
My buddy, who I'm going to talk about later today, as he was a part of one of the stories that made yahoo.com, he was an asshole. He was an asshole and everybody knew it. However, that brother would give you the shirt off his back in a heartbeat if he was cool with you and you had asked him.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Like there are people that are assholes, but they're lovable assholes. Let's see. She goes on to say that she's explained that the emotional trauma after waking up from the coma itself was terrible, especially since she was alone during the COVID-19 pandemic. Her parents were unable to visit her. She was in Canada and they were in Australia due to the lockdown and not being able to leave the country. Her mom had set up a GoFundMe page to help bring her back home. So this happened in Canada. All right. Let's see. Her doctors had mentioned that she only had a 10% chance of surviving
Damn.
and was put in an induced coma in order to aid her survival. How far did she fall?
Mm.
Man. She further mentioned that she had good support from people while she was in the hospital and she would FaceTime with her parents regularly. She's moved back to Perth to recover from her accident, good, and be closer with family and friends. So was she in Canada working? Was she there to live with the guy? Does he still live in Canada? There's so much about that I would like to know. And look, I don't know, based off of this picture, my opinion, she's attractive. Hey, look,
Yeah.
if you just need a warm body, assistant, zoom in on me. If you just need a warm body, holla at your boy. Australia's a long flight though. Cover my ticket. I got my passport. My passport, where is it at? My passport's sitting right here. I'll come and visit you. I'll help aid your recovery. Oh man. And John said, and I thought Canadians were supposed to be the nicest in the world. Yep, that's what I thought too. But apparently, hey,
I think
I don't
most
know.
apologetic, not necessarily nicest.
And there you
Like,
go.
I bet if anything, he probably texted her sorry.
It took me 2 seconds to catch that. I only personally know, so I've been to Canada, but I only personally know one Canadian that lives here in Frederick, and this lady's
Mm,
awesome. She's been fantastic. We used to go out and do things socially, but with life and everybody
yeah.
being busy, we haven't really linked up in a while. She had a housewarming event and invited me, but I'd already had something on the docket and couldn't make it.
Yeah.
All right, let's see where we at with time. Moving on to the next one. Dude, 5-year-old Texas boy dies in a hot car as family
Oh.
prepared for siblings' birthday party. This
Mm,
story was heart wrenching for me to read it because of the circumstances. And it reads, a 5-year-old boy in Texas died Monday after being left in a sweltering car for hours as the child's family prepped for his sibling's birthday party. So, what happened
mm,
was the parent or the mom with her two boys or two of her boys, because I don't know if she had any other ones. It was an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old had arrived and got home. She gets out of the car, and normally both kids gets themselves out of the car. She goes on to say, or somebody said, that the 5-year-old typically knows how to unbuckle himself, but the vehicle was a loaner car. So I'm wondering if the kid just maybe didn't know how to reach or wasn't able to reach. But did they get home? 8-year-old gets out, the mom gets out, the 5-year-old didn't unbuckle himself out, and the mom didn't know it until she started panicking a couple of hours later, realizing that the 5-year-old was still missing. And she
mm.
ran back to the car and saw that he was still in the safety seat. All right. So there's going to be an investigation and everything like that. And the part that kind of sucks about this for me is let's say that this story is genuine, there's still a chance that she could get charged with some type of child neglect that
Yeah.
further kind of damages that relationship.
She could lose her kids.
Yep. I don't know. Actually, I do know how I would feel if that happened with my significant other. And there's been movies and TV shows and people that this has happened to in real life that I I don't know how you overcome the anger if your significant other was the primary reason
Hmm.
while your child died. And this is a hard subject to talk about because this has
Very
happened
hard. Yeah.
to people and with their significant others, and some people have continued to make it through. I don't think I could be one of those people that could make it through. Not in that type of situation. It's completely different if like it's a car accident where you got hit and you
Yeah.
didn't have any
Yeah.
control and you tried to get you and your kids out, but the kid didn't. That's a different thing. But to leave a kid in the car and not realize it for that long of a time period, I don't know, man. What do you think about stories like this when you hear about it?
I mean, like all parents, we question how could that happen? Like, how could you forget about your kid for 3 hours? I mean, I don't even lock my car until I know everybody's out of the car. You know what I mean? And that's been since my kid was in the car seat. So in the car seat, I would have to take the car seat out with the kid, with one of my kids and bring them inside. Then I lock the door. As they've gotten older, I stand outside the car and wait until all my kids are out of the car, even in a not so hot state. And then when I see they've all gotten out of the car and closed the doors, I click the beeper to lock the to set the alarm. I get that you get busy, but and maybe this is us because we're military, you know what I mean? Because it's again the attention to detail. Because
Bingo.
that's what I always think about. I always think about it's attention to detail,
Bingo.
and maybe that saved us a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, a lot of trouble. But I feel like as an adult, as a person in charge of the lives of others who can't take care of themselves necessarily, you kind of have to pay attention to everything. And all parents are going to say, well, you can't do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the first thing I'm going to say to you, but that's the job. Is it impossible? Yes, it's impossible, but we have to try our best regardless, because it's when you stop paying attention to those details or you stop paying attention for 5 minutes that happens, you know? And I would be a very harsh judge of my spouse if something like that happened. I would still love her. I'd probably eventually down the road be like, stop. You got to understand something. The way me and my wife are now, if she forgets to put the lid on something, I'm going to let her know about it for the next 3 weeks. Do you remember that time you didn't put the lid on it? Could you imagine the kind of misery the two of us would be in if that severity was a thing? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
that's why I don't know how you recover from something like that.
Yep. Now, John said that that's why there are two of you in a
Correct.
situation where
When
both
there's two,
parents
there's
are
two parents.
around. Yeah, that's true. If it's a single parent type situation, which this story did not
Doesn't mention a
highlight that.
spouse. It doesn't mention a spouse though either.
No, which I'm pretty sure that because to have the mom come on and kind of give this statement like this would be one thing. Okay, so there's a post here. Let me see if I can click on this book page. So this is Ed Gonzalez. So this is a guy. Oh, no. Ed Gonzalez is the sheriff. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, I don't think I could get past it. I don't think any amount
Mhm.
of therapy would allow my brain to not blame her and get angry every time I think of it.
Mhm.
It'd be hard to recover. It'd be hard to recover.
Yeah, I
John
think.
said generally, if it's a single parent, single household parent, that parent is Johnny on the spot.
Yeah,
Generally, he's right.
I feel like that's true. I feel like that's generally the case. You
Yep.
know. Yeah, you're gonna have to block that one.
Yep. It's a good old block. I think
Gotta
this
love
is
the
the
box.
is this the second person?
No, it's just
Second
one,
block?
but
The
it's
first block?
our
All
second
right.
block.
So for those of y'all that are going to be listening to this, we spam, but that's what you get when you stream in video. You'll have spam chatters come in from time to time.
It's the internet.
It's the internet. Yeah, man. So
That's tough, man.
to lose a
That's tough.
sibling that way, that's tough. I think that both me and you as a parent feel that. And the point that you made and something that you talked about as well, I think I've always, when it's been me, or really any time that I'm traveling with somebody, I don't like just go do whatever it is that I have to do. I don't know if it's out of habit. I don't know why, because it could be me, you, CQ, and JT out and about if we're all traveling in the same
Mhm.
car. It's something about when I get out, kind of scanning the scene for a second and then doing what I have to do, even if it's like pouring down raining cats and dogs, brother. I've done that. It's like, all right, open the door, close the door, look around to gather myself, and
Mhm.
then, run to get out the rain. I've always been that way. So similar to you, it's just out of habit. I've always done that.
Yeah.
Gotten out, scan the situation, and then go and do whatever it is I've got to do, like even if I'm a little bit behind or whatnot. So I don't know if it's a military thing. I don't know if that's because we've typically been the responsible authority for our family that
Mhm.
we just do it without thinking, you know. John said, were they asking about your car's extended warranty? Yes. All right.
Uh,
Let's get into the main story. We talked about in the past different nonprofits that have been vital to us as veterans, and one of those is Wounded Warrior Project. CQ is a part of the National something team, the NCT. I forget exactly what that stands for, but he is a part of a team that they're like ambassadors for Wounded Warrior Project that get all different types of media training and things to talk about the impact that the nonprofit has had on him as a person. All right. And it's a fantastic thing to do when you can have a nonprofit and you can highlight the transformation and the different things that people may not even know of or be aware about, that you can show positive impact on our nation's veterans. Wounded Warrior Project has a thing called a peer support group that you and I are a part of here in the local area. There's different chapters. You can, man, this is bad of me to say because I was about to say you can go on to WWP's page and figure out where your local chapter is at if you're a WWP alumni, but I'm not sure about that. but I'm also not a brand ambassador either. But CQ was going to be featured in a story that's a collaboration between Yahoo.com and Wounded Warrior Project. That's going to be kind of over a series of a couple of months where they talk about mental health and other subjects kind of around that arena. And CQ is the main player, if you will, or the main person in the story, but they wanted to feature somebody that he knew as well and asked me if I wanted to be a part of the story. And I was. Yahoo.com came down with some producers. They got a film crew, which was fantastic. We had to take a COVID test for each day that we showed up for shooting, which I don't know what kind of COVID tests other people have been doing. But this dude, and shout out to him, man. He was a veteran himself. He owns his own like health company that does the
hmm,
COVID test and other diagnostic stuff.
nice.
Shoved this COVID Q-tip so far up my nostrils and tickled my brains. I thought I had transformed into a completely different person. I don't know. And apparently the way he did it was the way that it's supposed to really be done. All right.
Mhm.
I was not looking forward to day 2 when I had to do that again. I transformed the third time when that dude gave me that COVID test. But we shot this feature. Okay. I'm going to play this 4-minute video. Yahoo.com, fair use. All right. Allow us to do this. We doing this for WWP, Yahoo, and everybody else out there. But take a look at this video as it got me recognized at a gas station and somebody paid for a full tank of gas. Shout out to Thomas.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to
Hey,
Thomas.
that's a premium these days. So I told him to be on the lookout for this because I was going to talk about him. Shout out to Thomas Jenkins for paying for my full tank of gas, recognizing me from yahoo.com. And here is the video. Bullseye. Oh, and I called it.
I had nothing. Okay, moving on.
CQ and I met in a internship program. Hold on, I gotta.
You got by 4-1. You're getting demolished. We've known each other through work, but When you do something like a peer support group and come together from different walks of life, man, the growth is incredible. I was born and raised in New York City. No one else had really served in my family, but I felt the calling to serve when 9/11 happened and defend my country. I was on my second combat deployment. One of my teammates got shot. I ran out there, dragged him back to safety. In the process, I was shot 5 times myself. I spent the next 2 years in the hospital recovering from my injuries and eventually got medically retired. My whole identity had been wrapped up in being a soldier. To have that so violently ripped from me with no chance for me to process it, it was shattering to my being, to my core. I was lost for a very long time because of it. If not for Wounded Warrior Project, if they had not gotten involved at the time that they did, I really don't think that I'd be here today.
My dad, as an Army veteran, said either Navy or Air Force, so I joined the Air Force. I thought that I was going to be in 20 plus years, but on my 9th deployment, they find that I had a heart condition. I was ultimately medically retired from the Air Force. In 2013, my friend Trey, who I pretty much called a brother, his airplane blew up. At the time, I really didn't know that it caused me to feel depressed. This was right around the time that I had just met CQ and started to hear his story.
Wounded Warrior Project came into my life actually when I was still in the hospital, but I was depressed, isolating. I didn't go out, but they would still contact me occasionally and check in on me. And eventually I said, sure, I'll go. And being around the other warriors, being around other people that spoke the same language I did, had similar experiences that I did, it was a game changer for me. It was from then on that I decided I wanted to change how my story played out.
When he introduced me to the peer support group, at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I qualify. I wasn't wounded in combat the same way that he was, but he talked about it so passionately that I'm like, all right,
I wore you down.
I'm curious. But yeah, he did eventually wear me down.
The main idea behind the peer support group is to give you that sense of camaraderie that you lost during the transition out of service. We're not there to really solve anyone's problems, but to hear each other out and provide support. And so having King join the group, that was the beginning of a really good friendship.
CQ's been awesome. He's invited me and my daughter into his family and has treated us like family.
You look through all of our special occasion pictures, you know, whether it's Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays, they're somewhere in the picture.
La, 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 la.
Yeah, Logan was a very quiet kid, so to have him be expressive, it's been awesome.
Yeah, you've been a part of his life since he was born.
Mm-hmm. Having been a part of the peer support group, it just kind of taught me that it's not just the wounds that you can see, but it's those that you can't.
At the end of the day, we've all experienced trauma, regardless of how it came into our lives, but we can work together to get each other to the best versions of ourselves we can be.
Everybody's story is important, no matter what it is. Man,
I love that video.
yeah, that video was done well put together. But why do you say that, brother?
Well, I mean, because like I've known you guys throughout this entire process, and like you and I are really close, and I didn't know how close you and CQ were, but then I thought back and I'm like, yeah, he's always like going to like parties and stuff like that, and because you know me, I'm not always there, you know, and I want to be, but I can't always be, and it's nice to see that your relationship with him has been so tight and everything. So like you and I are tight, you and he are tight, he and I are tight, but we all have our different relationship, but we all ultimately have helped each other get to this place that we're in now,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is the best place to be. because we're here. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, but it's a really great video. I love that I got some cameos in there. I'm in several of the photos. So I mean, but that's how tight our group is. You know, we're always going to these meetings, we're always going to these outings and hanging out as friends and supporting each other when we can. And it's a really great video. I actually might have been in the video, but I had actually gotten COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
that nostril check that the guy was giving you would have came up super positive. But yeah, no, I really love the video. Um, I had mad jokes about it in the beginning, but it was all love between the group of us. Um, but yeah, it's a great video, and I'm really happy that you two got to show the great work that you've put in, because it's not just the Wounded Warrior Project. You guys put in the work. You know what I mean? Wounded Warrior Project set up the meetings and the potential, and you guys put in the work. We all show up. We all put ourselves out there, and it's great to see how we've all changed. It's been about 10 years. It's great to see how we've all grown and changed and how much the Wounded Warrior Project has helped us, because it really
Exactly.
has. It really has. And a lot of people remember prior to the changes that Wounded Warrior Project made over the last few years, and it wasn't the same. But now it's like, it's something great, and
Mhm.
I love that people are getting to see that. You know.
Yep. Yep. There's a joke that I missed completely in that video of, I'm assuming it's CQ in that video doing that combat training or whatnot, where there's a lot of dudes piled up on each other. And I was like, how did I miss the jokes in that I could have sent back to CQ? It was like, man, that must have been CQ's favorite day of training right there, being piled on by a bunch of dudes. Yeah, I have to clip that part of the
Just
video.
that, yeah, specifically.
Yep. And every single time he says something out of pocket, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna send him that video with the title CQ's favorite day. But I've also had some really positive feedback come back from that. I posted it on my social media, obviously, when it came out. I think it was just this
Yeah,
past week
yeah, yeah,
or last week or
something like that.
sometime over the last few days. I've had it reach people organically that know me. Some people who I haven't seen in a while or whatnot shoot me a text message. It was like, "Yo, is this you?" And I'm like, "Bruh." But there's been some really positive feedback from other people as well that saw it. And I really want to thank Yahoo, the team that came on, and CQ, who just joined, by the way, for shooting that, for allowing me to be a part of it, and the message that it gave.
Yeah,
It's been a really positive, impactful message. And like CQ said in the chat here, it was definitely fun. So if you ever have any questions about the peer support group, Michael Carasquillo, whose name has popped up, is the man to ask. You can reach out to me or
reach
Joe,
out to us. Yeah,
and we can definitely point you in the right direction and assist you
yeah,
if that's something that you would like to know more info about or just support. Okay, because the support itself is also very good. I was a supporter of WWP before I became an alumni because I
yeah.
believed in the mission and what they were trying to do. All right. Well, hey, Joe, we're coming up on the end of our time, and me and you both have hard stops. Do you have a word of the day for me, good sir?
Don't I always?
All right. Let's go.
This is a
What you
good one. This is a good one. This is
got?
a
Okay.
good one. All right, you ready? I'm gonna make sure I say it correctly. Okay, inimitable.
I don't even know if I can say that correctly. M
Inimitable.
inimitable.
Yes.
Inimitable. Okay. Inimitable. Inimitable. It is what you use to describe somebody who is inept at
Oh,
doing something. Inimitable.
you had me, and then you lost me. No, 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 no. Inimitable is so good or unusual as to be impossible to copy. Unique.
Ooh, so unique.
Hmm.
All right. Impossible to copy. Unique. Can you spell it for me?
INIMITABLE.
All right. So I'm going to put this up on the screen here. The word of the day, inimitable. And I had to say it slow to make sure that I got it right. So good as to be impossible to copy. And I just shortened that.
Yep.
Also unique. Okay. There was no way I was getting that one, but I have to find a way to try to use it. CQ said, like him.
Yeah, aren't we all? Aren't
Hey,
we all so cool as to be
hey,
unique?
hold on. You know what? He would be the one to say that.
He would.
All right. Well, hey, Joe, this was fun, man. We got our new format that's kind of going. The format going forward is going to be very similar to this. The articles and things that we're going to be discussed are known in advance so that the
Mhm.
people too have the resource or the link. I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
source is what I meant to say, that they'll be able to follow up and check on it as well. We talk
Chime
about the
in.
things that we want to talk about over here. We've got other subjects and stories, some that might be tough to talk about, but we want to talk about them.
Yeah.
All right. That's what we do over here at the Just Joking podcast. Shout out to you for listening. Shout out to the viewers for watching. And we will be back. Let's try that
Yes.
again. We'll be
Correct.
back in 2 weeks with another episode of the Just Joking podcast.
Peace.
Peace.